Welcome back to Level 6 Math. Today we're looking at adding and subtracting decimal numbers. Hooray! Lesson 37 with our Saxon Math. This is, finally, we're getting into decimals. This is something that is so important, and it's not tricky, it's not too hard, but it does take practice because there are a few little tips and tricks that we can get you that are going to make this easier for you. Today, the big thing is lining up decimals, and so we'll get into that. So when we add or subtract numbers using a pencil and paper, it's important that all the digits line up in the same place. So at 23, 241, we're going to line it up according to the ones place, not to the hundreds place, okay? And so we line up from the right to left. So we're always going to be lined up there, and then the higher the number, those will all line up as well. That's not the same when it comes to decimals, especially if the decimals have different place values. So what we have to do in decimal problems is line them up according to the decimal. So you see how the decimals all lined up here? So then it'll be the ones are lined up again, the tens are lined up, etc. And then on the going from left to right, we'll have the tenths lined up, the hundredths lined up, etc. So it's important that the decimals line up. That's really the only thing you're learning today. This is the whole point of the lesson, is line up your decimals. So when you do that, and I found that it helps some students, if you want to have the same numbers out here, you can just add a zero so that they all look the same. So now it's 2.30, 2.41, 31.70. Then it has the same number of digits. So you can do that after you line it up, and then it's a little easier to add. Sometimes that helps just to see that visually. So let's go ahead and take a problem here. A rainfall over a 3-day period is 3.4 inches. 0.26, now we're going to line up that decimal right here. So 0.26, and then again, we can fill in the gaps with zeros, right? So now those all line up with the decimals being lined up. Oh, and 0.3, so we'll put 0.3 here, and then we can fill in those gaps with zeros. It's still the same number. 0.30 is exactly the same thing as 0.3. 3.40 is exactly the same thing as 3.4. This is just going to help us in adding up. So then we can just go 0 plus 6 plus 0 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 3 is 9. Then look, the decimals lined up, so we just drop our decimal right there. And 3 plus 0 is 3, 3.96. So they line up really nice. And then, of course, we would label that inches, 3.96 inches. All right, so they're going to do it without the zeros and just line it up according to that decimal and come up with the same answer, 3.96 inches of rain fell. All right, again, here we can look at a gallon being 3.78 liters. If Margaret pours 2.3 liters from a 1 gallon bottle, how much milk will remain in the bottle? So we're just going to take a gallon equals 3.78, and we're going to subtract 2.3 from it. So we just have to line that up. 3.78 minus 2.3. So we do that. Now I'm going to add an extra 0 there just to make it easier. 8 minus 0 is 8, 7 minus 3 is 4, and 3 minus 2 is 1. 1.48 liters. That's it. That's the whole assignment. It's really easy. It's just lining up those decimals, okay? So just get to work on practicing that. This is going to be a piece of cake. This is going to make your life so much easier to be able to add and subtract decimals. All right, bye-bye.